North Korea remains one of the world's most secretive regimes, primarily because of its military stronghold. Information about its internal affairs is scarce, making it challenging to discern the relationship between the state and its people. While its nuclear capabilities often dominate headlines, the hidden stories are equally intense. The authoritarian grip has pushed several citizens to flee, taking grave risks. Some manage to break free, while others face tragic ends. Here are 10 remarkable stories of individuals who braved it all to escape from North Korea, a nation shrouded in mystery. Number 10. Soldiers daring escape. During gunfire. In November 2017, Oh Chong-song, the son of a prominent North Korean general, made headlines with his audacious escape. Song, a soldier himself, had never planned on fleeing his homeland. Growing up, his life was one of relative comfort, given his father's high-ranking status. But a series of unfortunate events set the stage for his great escape. After an altercation with friends, Song decided to drown his worries at a local bar. A few drinks later, he found himself behind the wheel, heading back to his military base. As he approached a required checkpoint, an intoxicated impulse pushed him to speed past it. Realizing the grave consequences of his actions, especially in a regime as unforgiving as North Korea's, his survival instincts kicked in. Soon, other military officers began chasing him. Pushing his vehicle to its limits, he sped on, but misjudgment led him into a ditch. With the border in sight, he made a desperate dash, the pursuing officers close behind. They fired, and 5 bullets found their mark. Injured but determined, Song managed to cross into South Korea, where he collapsed. South Korean forces quickly found him and ensured his safety. Recovering later, Song expressed no regret. He was free at last. Number 9. North Korean elite escapes. On a raft, Chula and Lee, 2 elites from North Korea, had lived lives of privilege in their homeland. While the nation's surveillance of its citizens was stringent, these 2 individuals worked for an organization equivalent to the National Intelligence Service. Their responsibilities were massive. They were tasked with overseeing more than 1,000 individuals through a network of informants. This role granted them access to resources and information that most North Koreans couldn't even dream of. Their unique credentials meant they could move freely, almost effortlessly, throughout the nation. But as time wore on, Chula in particular became increasingly disillusioned with the workings of his government. The disparity between his life and that of the average North Korean was vast, and the knowledge weighed on him. A turning point came when he had an enlightening interaction with a South Korean charity organization that had come to North Korea to distribute rice. Their accounts of life in South Korea, a world so different from his own, planted a seed of escape in his mind. Lee, his close associate, felt similarly. Discussions between the two revealed a shared desire for freedom, away from the prying eyes of their own government. Since they were stationed in South Hwanghae province, heading to the Chinese border was out of the question. It would raise too many alarms given their statuses. The Yellow Sea, with its vast expanse stretching 3.7 miles, presented itself as a viable option. However, their elite statuses did not grant them access to everything. They had no boat, and acquiring one would surely arouse suspicion. So after gathering essential supplies, they took a risk and plunged into the sea, determined to swim their way to freedom. Hours into their journey, exhaustion crept in. To make their journey easier, they discarded their shoes, clothes, and food. To make matters worse, they spotted a patrol boat in the distance. Its intentions were unclear, and without a distinguishing flag, they were paralyzed by fear. The thought of being discovered by North Korean officials, the very people they once worked with, was terrifying. If caught, they would undoubtedly face execution. Pushed to their limits, and with their energy waning, a stroke of luck presented itself. They stumbled upon debris, old wooden pellets and plastic, on a small island. Using these materials, and with the help of styrofoam they had with them, they crafted a makeshift raft. For hours they clung to this raft, until they were discovered by South Korean officers. To their relief, they were safe, having unknowingly crossed the treacherous borders of the Yellow Sea and entered South Korean waters. Their harrowing journey was a testament to their courage, determination, and the lengths they went to for freedom. Number 8. Escaping North Korea's oppressive regime is a monumental challenge, regardless of the means, by car, swimming, or even on foot. But the most remarkable escape tale is that of Ji Seung-ho, who defied all odds by escaping on crutches. Ji's odyssey began in 1996, amidst a catastrophic famine that left countless North Koreans in desperate straits. With resources scarce, Ji and his siblings resorted to consuming grass and even rats in their desperate bid for sustenance. Driven to find more nourishing food, young Ji risked stealing coal from a moving train to barter for meals. But hunger and fatigue took their toll, causing him to faint and be struck by the train. This harrowing incident led to Ji losing a leg and an arm, making the rigors of life in North Korea even more unbearable. Yet Ji's spirit remained unbroken. Determined to find a better life, he embarked on an extraordinary journey. With only crutches to support him, Ji covered an astonishing 6,000 miles. He first traversed the Tumen River to enter China, then traveled southward to the Laos border, and finally made his way to Thailand. Every step was a testament to Ji's indomitable will. Upon reaching Thailand, Ji was transferred to South Korea, where he was equipped with a prosthetic arm and leg. His determination and resilience did not go unnoticed. Roughly 2 decades after his escape, Ji's advocacy efforts with fellow North Korean defectors caught the attention of international leaders. The U.S. President, Donald Trump, even extended an invitation to him in the nation's capital. There, Ji recounted his incredible story and proudly displayed the very crutches that had supported his journey to freedom. For Ji, these crutches are more than just tools. They stand as a poignant reminder of his incredible resilience and determination. Today, he channels that same spirit into aiding others, working alongside other North Korean defectors to disseminate crucial information into the closed-off state. The crutches, worn and battered, symbolize not just his personal journey, but also the unyielding spirit of all those who dare to dream of a life beyond North Korea's confines. Number 7. The desire to defect from North Korea isn't limited to ordinary citizens. Even top-ranking officials from the reclusive nation's government seek freedom from its iron grip. Among these high-profile defectors is Jo Song-gil. Jo wasn't just an ordinary government worker. He held a prestigious post as the acting ambassador at the North Korean embassy in Rome. Serving diligently until 2018, Jo suddenly vanished, along with his wife. For 2 years, the enigma of their disappearance left many puzzled. If he wasn't in Rome, where could he possibly be? It was a daunting task for North Korean officials to track him down, given the secrecy surrounding defections. However, the mystery started to unravel when South Korean lawmaker Ha Tae-young confirmed in 2019 that Jo had safely made his way to South Korea. On his social media page, Ha proclaimed, "Jo Song-gil entered South Korea last year in July and is now under our government's protection." With this revelation, Jo cemented his position as one of the most senior officials to escape North Korea's clutches. He follows in the footsteps of Tae Yong-ho, another diplomat who, serving as the deputy ambassador to the UK, sought refuge in South Korea in 2016. The circumstances of Jo's escape remain shrouded in secrecy. Notably, Italy had been without a permanent North Korean ambassador since 2017, after the then ambassador was expelled following North Korea's contentious 6th nuclear test. Jo, who had joined the embassy in 2015 as the 3rd secretary, seemed an apt replacement. The Italian Foreign Ministry was caught off guard by his sudden departure. They revealed that a notice from the North Korean embassy had informed them of Jo's and his wife's exit from the official residence. Interestingly, just days later, only Jo's daughter, accompanied by a few embassy staff members, returned to North Korea. She reportedly requested to reunite with her grandparents back home. It wasn't until 2 years post this intriguing series of events that the news of Jo's defection officially came to light. Number 6. Escaping North Korea typically conjures images of secretive journeys and life-threatening risks. Yet Jung Min-woo's tale deviates from this norm. Unlike many who risked it all to escape the repressive regime, Jeong's exit was surprisingly straightforward. Jung Min-woo served as a soldier in North Korea's formidable military. When the time came for him to leave, he did something unexpected. He straightforwardly expressed his intention to defect to the border guards. Rather than encountering resistance, his status as a fellow soldier afforded him an unhindered passage. Walking out of North Korea in his military uniform, Jeong began his journey as a refugee. However, traveling in a North Korean military uniform posed its challenges. While in Thailand, he realized the need to blend in and avoid drawing attention. Fortunately, he had friends there who provided him with civilian clothes, allowing him to safely stow away his uniform, a symbol of his past and a potential tool if he ever needed to return. In North Korea, a military uniform wasn't just clothing, it was a shield. When donned, it granted respect and deterred civilian confrontations. Such was its influence that Jeong, like many of his comrades, preferred wearing it even off duty. But once in South Korea, his treasured uniform had to be be surrendered to South Korean intelligence. This step was essential to verify that his defection was genuine and not an espionage tactic. Jiang's connection to his military past didn't end there. In a twist of nostalgia, he acquired another uniform, a summer variant crafted from breathable cotton. Now a free man, Jiang became a regular guest on Now on My Way to Meet You, a talk show where North Korean defectors share their unique stories. And fittingly, he often dons his uniform, serving as a poignant reminder of his journey and the transformation from a North Korean soldier to a free voice in the South. Number 5. The story of Park Hyun-woo and his father stands out starkly amidst the tales of North Korean defections. In a society where conformity is paramount, the duo represented a rare streak of defiance. When 26-year-old Park's mother and sister disappeared, it became a shadow that loomed large over him and his father. With their disappearance came relentless scrutiny and intimidation from military officials. A decision had to be made. In the cold grip of February 7, 2017, the two Parks, residing in North Korea's North Hamgyong province, chose freedom over oppression. To avoid rousing suspicion, they took separate routes from their home, intending to reconvene later that night. Their rendezvous point was the partially frozen Tumen River, the liquid barrier separating North Korea and China. What's striking is that they weren't fleeing poverty. By North Korean standards, they led a decent life. Both were railway workers, and unbeknownst to many, they received clandestine funds from their families through a covert network. As they embarked on their escape, they carried a flash drive, a repository of memories and vital information. More chillingly, they also held tiny packets of rat poison in their mouths, a tragic backup plan should they be caught. Their journey, set against the backdrop of a freezing river, was nothing short of harrowing. With each step, their sodden clothing turned more rigid with ice. The biting cold was relentless, but so was their spirit. Upon reaching the Chinese banks, a beacon of hope awaited them, one of their sisters, who had been anxiously anticipating their arrival. The trio then stealthily navigated under a fence and reached a waiting van which transported them to sanctuary. It was only at their safe haven that they could finally shed the weight of their oppressive past. Park Hyun-woo and his father removed and buried their North Korean leader's lapel pins, symbolically severing their ties to the regime. Their journey is a testament to the indomitable human spirit and the lengths one would go to for the promise of freedom. Number 4. No Kum-sok's defection remains one of the most startling tales of escape by a high-ranking military official. A Korean-American aviator and engineer, No Kum-sok held the position of a senior lieutenant in the Korean People's Army and Anti-Air Force during the throes of the Korean War. While aspiring to become an officer in the Korean People's Navy, No cleverly masked his experience, aided by a former history teacher who steered him through the pilot selection test. Despite his subterfuge, No's talents shone, and he quickly climbed the military ranks, undergoing flight training in Manchuria. Throughout the war, he flew over 100 combat missions, demonstrating his prowess. However, the morning of September 21, 1953, forever marked a radical shift in his trajectory. From the Sunan airfield near Pyongyang, No daringly piloted his MiG-15 to the Kimpo Air Base in South Korea. The swift 17-minute flight, reaching speeds of 1,000 kilometers per hour, meant that not a single North Korean aircraft could tail him. Miraculously, due to a timely radar shutdown at the U.S. base for maintenance, his unexpected landing went undetected. In a near-catastrophic twist, No's landing was misaligned with an oncoming F-86 Sabre jet. This inadvertent error, which might have had fatal consequences, ironically ensured his safety. Had he approached correctly, detection and potential interception would have been imminent. Upon touchdown, No's first act was an emblematic one. He promptly discarded a photo of Kim Il-sung, a mandatory fixture in North Korean aircraft, symbolizing his unshackling from the regime. As base security guards advanced, No, in a gesture of peace, raised his arms high, signaling his surrender and intention of causing no harm. This audacious defection showcased the lengths to which individuals would go to break free from oppressive clutches. Number 3. The story of Song Bayark is a blend of heartbreak and indomitable spirit. Born and raised in North Korea, Song and his father experienced the brutalities and scarcity that the regime's political climate and famines brought upon its citizens. Like many, they found them. North Korea remains one of the world's most secretive regimes, primarily because of its military stronghold. Information about its internal affairs is scarce, making it challenging to discern between the state and its people. While its nuclear capabilities often dominate headlines, the hidden stories are equally intense. The authoritarian grip has pushed several citizens to flee, taking grave risks. Some managed to break free, while others face tragic ends. Here are 10 remarkable stories of individuals who braved it all to escape from North Korea, a nation shrouded in mystery. Number 10. Soldiers daring escape. In November 2017, Oh Chong-song, the son of a prominent North Korean general, made lines with his audacious escape. Song, a soldier himself, had never planned on fleeing his homeland. Growing up, his life was one of relative comfort, given his father's high-ranking status. But a series of unfortunate the stage for his great escape. After an altercation with friends, Song decided to drown his worries at a local bar. A few drinks later, he found himself behind the wheel, heading back to his military base. As he approached a required checkpoint, an intoxicated impulse pushed him to speed past it. Realizing the grave consequences of his actions, especially in a regime as unforgiving as North Korea's, his survival instincts kicked in. Soon, other military officers began chasing him. Pushing his vehicle to its limits, he sped on, but misjudgment led him into a ditch. With the border in sight, he made a desperate dash, the pursuing officers close behind. They fired, and 5 bullets found their mark. Injured but determined, Song managed to cross into South Korea, where South Korean forces quickly found him and ensured his safety. Recovering later, Song expressed no regret. He was free at last. Number 9. North Korean elite escapes. On a raft, Chula and Lee, 2 elites from North Korea, had lived lives of privilege in their homeland, while the nation's surveillance of citizens was stringent. These 2 individuals worked for an organization equivalent to the National Intelligence Service. Their responsibilities were massive. They were tasked with overseeing more than 1,000 individuals through a network of informants. This role granted them access to resources and information that most Koreans couldn't even dream of. Their unique credentials meant they could move freely, almost effortlessly, throughout the nation. But as time wore on, Chula in particular became increasingly disillusioned with the workings of his government. The disparity between his life and that of the average North Korean was vast, and the knowledge weighed on him. A turning point came when he had an enlightening interaction with a South. Number 1. In desperate times, seeking better opportunities can be the only path forward. This sentiment was starkly illustrated when a South Korean Navy vessel came across a 5-ton wooden boat drifting across the West Sea. Aboard it were 22 North Korean defectors, found approximately 38 kilometers south of the northern limit line, the maritime boundary, and about 41 kilometers west of Daejeon Island. This group was diverse, with 12 males and 10 females, amongst which were 8 children, 3 being under the age of 10. Analyzing their background, a South Korean security official remarked on the audacity and risk involved in crossing such expansive waters with numerous lives at stake. Venturing across the sea is not a common escape route for North Koreans due to the perilous journey that often leaves many adrift. As per the Unification Ministry, by the end of the previous year, only 112 had escaped from the seaport of Nampo and 334 from the South Hwanghae province, neighboring the West Sea. These numbers form a meager 2% of the total 21,294 defectors who had reached South Korea as of April this year. Yet despite the challenges, North Koreans persist in their quest for freedom. Their stories of daring escapes continue to emerge. Of all these tales, which resonates most with you?